Welcome to Manifest with Melanie, the show that helps you unlock your manifestation superpower. I'm your host, Melanie Mishler, equal parts woo-woo, neuroscience, and strategy. And each week, I share proven tools and raw talk to help you create the soul-aligned life and business you were meant for. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, love, and welcome back to the podcast. It is a rainy, cool day here in Belize, and this is my favorite time of year from about November to the end of January because while some of my friends are shoveling snow, I see all your photos on Facebook. I'm nice and cozy in my yoga pants and a tank top because even though it's rainy here, it's nice and it's not cool, it's not hot, it's just perfect. Anyway, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're enjoying the season, the winter season of kind of going inward and being quiet. So today I want to talk about something with manifestation that I see constantly, especially with smart women who are self-aware, life is working for them, but they just kind of have this feeling like, there's more inside of me, or maybe they're stuck in one area of life. So it's this moment where they say, I already know this stuff. Like I've done the therapy, I've read the books, I understand what's going on. And yet nothing actually changes, like not the money, not the business, not the relationship, or their sense of like ease and fulfillment. And that is because awareness by itself does not create movement. So most people, they fall into one of two camps when they're trying to manifest change or create change, however you want to call it. The first one is trying to manifest from mental awareness alone. Now that's doing things like saying positive affirmations that you don't actually feel, or repeating beliefs that you don't yet believe, or doing vision boards while your body is like, I don't think that's going to really happen. And the second way is trying to hustle your way there. So more effort, more action, more pushing, more proving. And listen, I'm going to say this clearly because hustling does work. I hustled for many, many years, but it's exhausting. And you know that. You know how exhausting it is. And the first method is actually just as frustrating because you're doing all the right things, or it seems like you're doing all the right things. You're saying the affirmations, visualizing the future, but nothing shifts. And so after a while, you'll start losing hope or wondering if maybe the desire that you have, maybe it just isn't like, quote, for you, right? So neither of these paths will create a soul aligned life. And the reason for that is simple. There's a massive difference between mental awareness and somatic awareness and somatic action. And most manifestation work, like most teachers, they never bridge these two. Because mental awareness, it lives in our head. It's insight. It's us understanding our patterns, doing the therapy, being able to explain exactly why you are the way you are, right? Most of us can do that at this point in our lives. Somatic awareness, it lives in our bodies and it shows up as sensations, as tension or a pull or hesitation or expansion. And here's something you've heard me say before, and I say it a lot because it matters. Knowledge isn't power. Action is power. But action doesn't always mean doing more in the world. Like it doesn't mean hustling more. It can actually happen internally as a mental rehearsal, as a sensation, as like our body learning what something feels like before it happens. I call this felt thought because when thought is felt, when it's experienced in the body, it becomes somatic. And that's what actually creates change because your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a vividly emotionally felt experience in your mind and one that's happening in real time. It's almost like virtual reality. Our brain responds to both in the same way. And this is why you can know what you want. You can think about it. You can plan for it and still not move towards it. So let's make this a little bit more concrete. Let's say you want to manifest a more successful business. Maybe that's more visibility, more money, clients, whatever it is. Mentally, you might be really clear. I want to make more money. I want to grow my business. I want to be seen for my work. But here's the real question. What happens in your body when you imagine it? Not just when you think about it with your mind, like on surface level thoughts, but when you really feel your way into it. Like when you imagine raising your prices or going more public or actually turning your camera on and being more visible, does it feel expansive or does your chest tighten up a little bit? Does your stomach clench? Does your breath get shallow? Like, do you feel a pull forward and then an immediate urge to pull back? That's resistance. And resistance is really just information, right? It's your body showing you what it believes and what it's trying to protect. So when you think about, for instance, becoming more visible online for your business, your nervous system might be asking, am I going to be judged or rejected? Is this going to cost me belonging or make me unsafe? And that's a real conversation. And your nervous system is asking some really important questions. And until that conversation is addressed, no amount of affirmations or vision boards or strategy is going to create lasting change because manifestation doesn't happen from what you want. It happens from what you believe and from what your body believes it can safely hold. You hear me say this all the time. And this is why so many women stay in loops like knowing a job isn't aligned, but staying, or knowing a relationship isn't nourishing, just kind of settling, or just staying in these habits that aren't creating the life that we want. It's not because we don't know better. We do. It's because our body hasn't been included in the expansion. So we try and override it by telling ourselves things like, just get over it. I'm just going to grin and I'm just going to do it. Or saying more affirmations, but affirmations are not going to trick our nervous system into compliance. Because here's the thing. If your mind is imagining success, but your body is like bracing or tightening or pulling back, what's actually happening is your energy is fragmented. Let me give you a visual on this. It's almost like having a train on the tracks, but with two engines attached on either side. So you have all these train cars in the middle, two engines, and one engine, your mind, it's going full speed forward. Yeah, I'm building my business. I'm calling in consistent income. I'm ready for like $100,000 a year. But the other engine, which is your body and your beliefs, it's pulling just as hard in the opposite direction. And it's saying things like, is this actually possible for me? What if the market's saturated? Or what if I fail? Or what if this is exhausting? Or what if I'm too late? All the things that are underlying that fear, right? So basically what's happening is we're just fighting ourselves. It's like this massive tug of war on the train tracks. And then we wonder why we're tired, why we're stuck, why we keep like starting and stopping. It's not because you don't want it badly enough. It's because you're thinking one thing and our body believes something else. So you can say and think, I want to make $100,000 in my business. But if your body associates success with like pressure or burnout or visibility, or if you have a money block and you just feel lack, then you're pulling in the opposite direction every time. And this is where manifestation breaks down for so many people. They keep trying to fix the thought without ever working on what's underlying that thought, what's happening inside our body. And this is why awareness alone doesn't create change. You don't move by thinking harder, by pulling harder. You move when the mind and body are finally like pulling in the same direction, going in the same direction on that train track, not resisting each other. And this is why I teach something called somatic activation with my clients, which is basically what it is a rehearsal. We're rehearsing our way to what we want instead of hustling our way there or white knuckling it. Because once your body starts to experience something, whether that's aligned success or love or health, money, whatever it is, once your body starts to experience it, then that second engine, it stops pulling backwards. It stops resistance. And suddenly that energy moves and you have sometimes very, very rapid acceleration forward. And it's not because you're using more power to pull forward. It's because you actually stopped the engine that's pulling you in the opposite direction. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but that's kind of the visual that I use and the visual that I see. So just remember, you have to feel your way there. And this is where real change begins. It does not begin with forcing action or hustling or white knuckling, but with listening. Because your somatic awareness is not asking, what should I do next? It's asking, what happens in my body when I imagine doing it? And then instead of judging that response, we work with it. We have to create safety by slowing down and building our capacity. And then suddenly, once we do that, action becomes almost effortless. All that resistance, it loosens its grip on us. So this is why I always say manifestation is not about thinking positively. It's expanding what your body believes is possible. It's expanding our beliefs. So if you've been telling yourself things like, I already know this, or why am I not further ahead in my business, or whatever it is you want, maybe the more useful question is asking yourself, really asking yourself, how do I actually feel about this? Really? How do I really feel about stepping into a partnership with the love of my life? How do I really feel about stepping into a soul aligned successful business? How do I really feel about having financial freedom? How do you really feel? Underneath what you should feel, like, of course, everyone's going to say, well, I should feel great. I should feel excited. But what do you really feel? Is there some fear and resistance and clutching and tightening going on? We need to start there because when your body's on board, clarity doesn't need to be forced. It becomes very, very obvious. And that's the work we're doing here this year. We're learning how to listen, how to trust, and how to create from a place that's actually sustainable for the rest of your life. That's not quick fix because once you get this piece, this missing piece in manifestation, it just clicks and everything becomes easier. All right, love. I'm really glad that you're here with me. I'm so happy being back on the podcast after taking that long break. And if this landed for you, please subscribe and share it with a friend. And if you want some more support around this, if you're like, ooh, I want to go deeper with this. I do right now have a really, really special offer where you work with me for 3 pretty intensive sessions, one-on-one. I'm only offering this in Q1 of 2026. So you can find all the information on show notes and I have very limited spots available for this. Something that interests you, head over to show notes and you can find all the information there. All right, love, until next week, keep manifesting an epic life.